It's 1960. The Cold War is at its peak. The Soviet Union has the largest air defense network in human history. Thousands of radar stations, hundreds of anti-aircraft missile batteries, an entire military apparatus built around one purpose. If anything flies over Soviet territory uninvited, shoot it down. And they had already proven they could do it. On May 1st, 1960, a Soviet surface-to-air missile blew an American U-2 spy plane out of the sky at 70,000 feet. The pilot, Francis Gary Powers, survived and was paraded on Soviet television as proof that no American aircraft was safe. Nikita Khrushchev was furious, triumphant. He stood before the world and made a promise. "We will destroy any aircraft that violates our airspace." The Soviets believed it. The world believed it. Even some Americans believed it. But deep in the California desert, inside a classified facility so secret it didn't officially exist, a small team of American engineers was already building something that would make that promise look like a joke. The facility was called Skunk Works. It was run by a man named Kelly Johnson, one of the greatest aircraft designers who ever lived. Johnson had a problem to solve. How do you build a plane that no missile can catch? His answer was insane in the best possible way. You make it fly at the edge of space, so high that most missiles physically cannot reach the altitude. And you make it go so fast that even if a missile does get close, it can't maneuver quickly enough to intercept. The result was the SR-71 Blackbird. It flew at over 85,000 feet, that's 16 miles above the ground, higher than most clouds, high enough to see the curvature of the Earth. And it flew at Mach 3.2. That's more than 3 times the speed of sound, over 2,000 miles per hour, New York to London in under 2 hours. The plane got so hot from air friction that the fuselage would expand several inches during flight. On the ground, the fuel tanks actually leaked. The engineers designed them that way on purpose, knowing the metal would seal itself once the plane heated up. The pilots wore pressure suits nearly identical to astronaut suits, because at that altitude, if the cockpit depressurized, your blood would begin to boil. The SR-71 wasn't just an airplane, it was a message, and the Soviets were about to receive it. From the moment the SR-71 entered service in 1966, the Soviets tried everything to bring one down. They scrambled their fastest interceptor jets, the MiG-25, built specifically to catch American spy planes. Pilots pushed their engines to the limit, going so fast the engines risked burning out. They never even got close. SR-71 pilots reported seeing the missile contrails rising toward them from far below and simply accelerating. That's it. No evasive maneuvers, no countermeasures. Just throttle up and leave the missiles behind like they were standing still. One pilot described it like this. We'd see a missile launch on our sensors, call out bingo on the radio, push the throttle, and watch the threat disappear on the screen. It was almost boring. Almost boring. Over the course of its operational life, the SR-71 flew over hostile territory hundreds of times. Soviet radar operators tracked it. Soviet commanders screamed into their radios. Soviet missiles launched. Over 4,000 missiles were fired at SR-71 Blackbirds during the Cold War. Not one ever hit. Not one. The Soviets poured billions of rubles into developing new weapons specifically to counter this single American aircraft. They never succeeded. When the SR-71 was finally retired in 1998, it held, and still holds, the record as the fastest air-breathing aircraft ever built. A record that has stood for over 50 years, and somewhere in the archives of the Russian military there are thousands of incident reports, each one describing a radar contact, a missile launch, and then nothing. Just an American plane, disappearing into the sky at 2,000 miles an hour, gone before anyone could touch it. If you made it this far, you already know this is the kind of story nobody teaches you in school. If you want more stories like this one, the real ones, the ones that actually happened, hit that subscribe button. It's free, and it means the next story finds you instead of you having to look for it. And if this video was worth your time, leave a like. It takes 2 seconds, and it's the biggest thing you can do to help this channel keep making videos like this one. There are a lot more stories where this came from. I'll see you in the next one.